major developments in the sensational Jeffrey Epstein saga. Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime associate and accused madam of the now deceased pedophile, was arrested this morning by the FBI and has been ordered held without bail. Maxwell is charged with 6 federal felony counts, including conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Some of the girls were as young as 14, allegedly. But this probe does not end with the Maxwell indictment. The feds still want to talk with other very high-profile people tied to creepy Jeffrey Epstein.
We would welcome Prince Andrew coming in to talk with us. We would like to have the benefit of his statement. As we've previously said, and we would welcome him coming in and giving us an opportunity to hear his statement.
Brian has successfully sabotaged Katie. So, Dana, let me go to you. Do you think that President Trump should ask Bill Barr to communicate with his counterpart in the United Kingdom to allow U.S. authorities to speak with Prince Andrew? Do you think the royals are, verboten that we should keep hands off? What do you think, Dana?
Oh, I think that they should follow the investigation where it goes. What incredible that this story that had sort of faded into the background, you sort of like kind of forgot about it, was back burner. There's so many other things that are pressing and on our minds. And to find out that she was in Bedford, New Hampshire all along, I mean, that's where we were as a team at Fox. We were up there with, of course, other reporters for that New Hampshire primary. And we were there for 4 days. I mean, I could have found her myself. Darn it, that would have been a really good story for me to tell. Incredible. And I'm not, setting aside, I'm not trying to be too light about this. There are so many victims that said that she was the one that was basically the ringleader in helping Jeffrey Epstein basically be a child molester, amongst other problems that he had. And she herself has been accused of such. And so I think that it's extremely good that the FBI made the arrest, and now she will be held to account. I do wonder if she will say much. You know, she's been very quiet. Depends, I guess, on what the SDNY, what the federal government will try to do to her, what sort of deal they might be willing to make with her if she is willing to talk about this and get some justice for all of those victims, because they certainly deserve it. They've been through so much. And so this is a really good way to advance this investigation. And for the Attorney General, I think you just got to go with whatever needs to be done. I don't think you need to involve the White House or the president. You just got to go forward and get justice.
You know, it's fascinating to me that she chose to stay in the United States knowing that this investigation was coming down. Jesse, do you think that former President Clinton should worry about his reputation as this case unfolds?
Well, I would worry. We broke this on Water's World a couple weeks ago. We had Daniel Harper, the author, who has source told him that Bill Clinton was romantically involved with Ghislaine Maxwell. That was the primary reason that he was hanging out on Epstein's jet to begin with. He never even liked Epstein. He just liked Maxwell. And remember, Maxwell was at the Chelsea Clinton wedding. So we don't know that for sure, but that's been reported. If you're Bill Clinton, if you're Prince Andrew, if you're a socialite, a millionaire, a celebrity, and that you were involved in any way with something illegal in that sick little matrix between Maxwell and Epstein, I'd be worried, because if you're Maxwell, you're going to sing to reduce your sentence. She's not going to reduce it all the way, because from the reporting, she was the coordinator of the sex trafficking ring. She operated the money situation. She did the recruiting. She was the one doing the grooming, the bookings. She was the one arranging the flights. And as you mentioned, she was alleged to have been participating in the sexual acts along with Epstein and the underage girls. And it wasn't just within that tight time span in the 90s that they indicted her for here. She was deep with Jeffrey until the late 2000s. So there's going to be more indictments. And just remember, the feds seized so much evidence when they raided his home in the Upper East Side, in the island, at the ranch in New Mexico, and in Palm Beach. He had the entire property and all of the properties wired tight. He had surveillance footage everywhere. He had pictures. He had video. So if you were ever doing anything inappropriate at an Epstein property, it was on tape and it was stored methodically. So this is just the beginning of this investigation. They're going to go wherever it leads. There's going to be more indictments, and I can guarantee you there's going to be more victims that come forward. And so she's going to have to sing if she's going to slice off any of the sentence, because she's looking at 35 years right now.
Katie, welcome back. On that point, more victims coming forward. You know, there's a pool of money from Epstein's estate, over $600 million. Do you ever worry that, you know, there's 600 million reasons for someone to fabricate, someone who maybe was a voluntary, you know, participant in all this, someone in their 20s, say, or a prostitute, or where were the moms and dads of these young children? I mean, there's so many issues at play here. What strikes you as the headline?
I think that it's really important to focus on the facts and the accusations that the victims have brought forward with attorneys, and really work to get them justice if what they're saying is true. As Jesse just noted, there's a lot of evidence to go through that could back up what they are saying. Unfortunately, because Jeffrey Epstein is dead, the people who he did victimize, who are telling the truth about what happened to them, including underage girls, they will never actually get full justice because they never saw his day in court and were never able to face he was never able to face his accusers. And so I would hope that the Bureau of Prisons has had some reform since the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. You remember there were a number of prison guards that were reassigned or fired as a result of that screw up. So, you know, it'll be interesting to watch what they do in terms of watching this woman as she waits for her day in court.
I think, Brian, what Katie is alluding to is the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to the very same Metropolitan Correctional Facility that Jeffrey Epstein was in when he allegedly killed himself. Wouldn't that be interesting if she somehow met, you know, with an unfortunate demise? Do you worry, Brian, that the witnesses might all be disappearing?
Well, with the way the guards nod off and the way the cameras don't work, you never know what's going to happen with that prison. They suddenly forget how to guard those VIPs in there. So you worry, too. Then when you put a guy in with a bulky former cop and you wonder why he got beat up, I don't understand. But a couple of things. If this is true what Jesse's reported, that Maxwell was having an affair with Clinton, you can imagine how upset the Energizer is going to be, because she was seeing Bill Clinton at the time, reportedly. Number two is this is all about getting money to the victims. Prince Andrew, it's the VIPs of all those people that don't invite us. We don't know. We hear about this crowd. They appear on page 6. We hear what they're doing. Their life seems great, but in many ways it seems corrupt. And now they're all running for the hills. So unless you can get the money for these victims, unless you could out some of these socialites, which I don't know how that pays, or if there's every time off. And do you get vacation if you're a socialite? After all, isn't your life a vacation? So my sense is that unless you get some big names, I would like to focus on getting money to those young girls who are now young women and try to rebuild their lives.
We haven't even mentioned the involvement of Harvard University, which took a lot of Epstein's money, and a lot of other high rollers and very prestigious institutions kept they held their nose and closed their eyes and had their hands out and took Epstein's money. That's how he stayed protected all these many, many years.